Okay, Ando is going home. So let's talk about his obedience, shall we? All right, the purpose of this video is to explain, place. I was just with this. The purpose of this video is to explain all of his obedience commands and their criteria. Cupcake can hear us, and she's upset that she's not involved. She's not invited. So the place command, we'll start with this first, and generally when you start your training sessions with Ando, start with place, because this is a really clear signal, and when you send him to place and you start there and recall, that's kind of our routine, and he knows that now we're starting practice. Practice is different than real world application, and we'll go over that in your go home session, but this is kind of how we practice. But let's start with place. Place is a boundary stay. That just means that as long as he stays on this bed, he doesn't leave, he doesn't make a lot of noise, and he doesn't try to destroy the bed, he's doing it. He can sit, stand, lay down, roll around, chew a bone, whatever, as long as he follows those 3 rules. So all you do, free, good boy, is say the command place with the stem from your finger kick, place. And then reward when he goes. He chooses to lay down because that's what we've rewarded the most. We want place, your long-term, your duration place stays, to be very calm. So laying down on place gets more reward. He knows that it will get him more reward than sitting or standing. However, he's allowed to do whatever he wants. To release him from any command, you can say free, you can give him a new command, or you can click the clicker. Now, free just means free. It means you're free. You're free. Yeah, good boy. It means he's free to do whatever he wants now. Good job. He's a good boy. Good job. There's not really a reward involved. He may get stuck and say, no, I'd rather be on place, in which case you just encourage him, but free means you're now free to be a polite dog and do what you want to do. So he could go potty, he wants to work, he's like, it's breakfast time. Come here. So he can go potty, he can sniff, he can do whatever he wants right now without any input from me, as long as he's polite. Because there's obedience commands, right? And then there's general manners. General manners never end, but obedience commands can end. So free is how you tell him you're done. Go do what you want. Good boy, place. Good job. All right, another way. Aries. Hi, Aries. Place. Aries, come here. Aries, come here. Aries, come here. Go in there. So another way that you can, that's Aries, that's Tegan's dog. They know each other, but I wasn't expecting her to come up and say hi. So another way that you can release him from the command is you can click. Come on, there you go. Place. Place. Good boy. Place. Place. Good job. Good boy. The clicker means, good job, you did exactly what I wanted, come and get your reward. So where free means you're done, go do what you want, click means you did what I want, come and collect your paycheck, okay? So if I click, I must feed. Also, if I click, he must leave any position that he's in when I do so. So going forward with this video, if I click, I want to get him out of whatever position I was clicking for. So if he's healing, I want to move away from healing. If he's sitting, I want him to stand up and move, okay? And then the other way to get him out of a command is just to give him a new command. Heal. Place. Good job. All right? Or I could say here. Good boy, you did it. Good job. He hesitates because he overthinks a little. Place. Good boy. All right, so if that makes sense, now we'll talk a little bit about your different types of rewards. So those are the 3 ways you can stop a command and do something else, whether it's free time or a new command. Now let's talk about your reward system. So this is what we're practicing right now. While I'm explaining to you, Ando is practicing duration play stay. So I'm moving around, I'm pretty much ignoring him, and he just needs to stay there, right? I can throw food. I can throw a toy. Aries came up. he saw her way before I did, and he held the stay. That's exactly what we want to see out of him. So, your reward systems, you have 3 different types of rewards. You have a toy. Ando loves to play tug. So you have a toy reward. You have affection. Ando likes affection. He's a nice boy. He said, thank you very much, Miss Adrian. You have affection, so I'm rewarding what he's doing right now. Good boy. Place. All right, and you have food. And since we have all of these dogs on existential food schedules, meaning they get the food that they need for their life while training with you, the food has a very high value. So when I'm rewarding him with food especially, we have 2 ways to do it. One is room service. Room service means you just stay there and wait, buddy. It's coming to you. Good boy. I can announce it by saying good, or I can announce it by just saying the command. Place. Okay, good, yay. Good boy, all right? The other way to reward is what you already saw. Good boy, good job. All right, place. Those are your 2 ways of reward. So moving forward in the video, see which kind of reward I'm using and when. We want to keep them in balance. She's over here. Yeah. No, I put her up. We want to keep them in balance, all right? So when I'm doing room service, it creates stability. He's not thinking so much, he just waits. I'm good, this is easy, I wait, I stay, she comes, gives me food. If I'm using the clicker, it creates excitement. I don't know when she's gonna click, I'm gonna bounce around, it's very active, all right? So if we do too much clicker, we'll lose the stay. We'll lose the stability. If we do too much room service, we lose the joy, if that makes sense. So we want to make it fun for him. The clicker makes it very fun. Oh, he's a good boy. And he's pretty. He's always been. He's just a happy dog. He's a happy, contented doggy. He's very nice. He's a good boy. That's good. All right. Okay. So also moving forward, every time you hear me say a command, I'm going to press the button. We're adding a tactile element to his command. We human beings, blah, 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 blah. We're talking all the time, and yet somehow we expect our dog to discriminate the sounds that we want him to listen to, apart from all the rest of the talking that we do. So I don't even need to like spell words, sit, down, stand, place, here, come, whatever. He knows when I'm talking to him, when I talk to him. Also, since I add the tactile element of tap tap with that e-collar, oh, you're such a sweet boy, I know. That tactile element to that command, it's very easy for him to discriminate what he needs to hear and what he doesn't need to hear. It also prepares him for the times which, with the issues that he's had in the past with door dashing and running off and not coming back, there's inevitably going to be a time where we need to dial up that volume on the e-collar. We don't want the only time he feels the e-collar to be when we dial it up. We want him to, it's part of his training language. It just is part of everything. And when we dial up that volume, it's very easy for him to understand exactly what was supposed to happen and take it very well, okay? So we use that tactile command. I start every day pretty much on a level 6 with Ando, but we're gonna go down to a level 5 now because I've got his attention. Heel. Down. You notice I don't say stay ever. Stay is implied with all of these commands, okay? So I'm now going to explain healing. Healing is a stay relative to me. So whether I'm moving or stopped, you need to be in this invisible box right here. His collar should be about where the seam of my pants is. When I stop, he should sit. Now he's only been doing this formally for 3 weeks. He was always pretty good on the leash with us, except for when he chose to pull. Now pulling is not allowed, and I use the e-collar to explain where those boundaries are. The leash is simply to limit his options. So that leash should be loose while you're working. Down. Down. Good boy. Sorry, I got distracted. So that's how, by the way, that's a correction. He got up, I repeated the command with the stim. No difference in volume, no difference in how high the level is on that e-collar, just immediately talk to him and he corrects himself. Down. Oh, come here. I'll put him back where he was. We'll use the leash to help. Down. Down. No. He's like, why is this so, sit down. I'm asking for a lot of stays early on. Usually we're very active in the beginning. Down. Good boy. So I need to reward this. Room service creates stability. Down. All right, so heeling. So when I stop, right before I stop, I'm gonna say sit. While we're working, if he gets distracted, I'll turn. If he hits the end of the leash limit that I give him, I'll probably use the e-collar to say, hey, bring it in. So I'll show you how this looks. Down. I situate myself. He's in a down stay. My leash is in my right hand. My left hand has it on the leash, and this is my communication / limitations. If he's where he's supposed to be, this is going to be loose, all right? If he's not, and I feel tension on this because he's not where he's supposed to be, I can remind him heel with a stim. To start, you just say heel and start walking. Heel. Heel. Whoop. Boy. Good job. See how we come out of position? He's like, I don't know how to spin very well. Yay, good boy. Heel. Heel. Before I turn, I warn him. I say heel and then I turn. Good. Good job, Ando. Sit, then I stop. Heel. Sit. Good boy. Good boy, yeah. Good job. Heel. I tend to start with my left leg. Sit. He knows how to post off my left leg, so if you think about it, when you say heel, step off with your left leg. Heel. Good boy. Good boy. Sit. Because if I do a stay, I'll step off with my right. So if we're going together, my left leg says we're going. If he needs to stay while I leave, I'll step off with my right. Sit. Just like that. Good boy, Ando. Heel. Bum, 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 bum. Heel. I can turn into him and he needs to get out of my way. Heel. Good boy, Ando. That's awesome. Good job. Good job. Good boy. Okay? So that's heeling. Sit. The other two stays, sit and down, look a lot like place except for they have to maintain a specific body position. Sit. Good boy. So stepping off with my right makes that very easy for him. Good. And I'm actually at a level 4 right now. He's working very well. He kind of, because he's a 4.5-year-old dog, he's been used to being a little bit on his own program. So I start the session a little bit higher volume on the e-collar so that he's like, okay, I'm with you. Then we bring it down. But it should never be so high that his demeanor changes, okay? Good boy, sit. Nope, sit. Oh, it's like, I like down. Sit. Sit. Good. All right, so you just help him fix it. I use the leash to help him back up into a sit. We don't practice sit stays too much. It's a more difficult stay. It's half active. He's half up already. So at most 2 minutes of sit stays. Good boy. It's right here. Good job. That's a good boy. So I said free, and I didn't have to, I didn't give him a command. He's kind of automatically following and heeling with me. But I said free, I didn't have to reward him, and we can do whatever. Down. So with the sitting, he shouldn't twirl. With the down, he shouldn't crawl. He's a little bit crawly and he has a sense of humor. So he goes, bam, down. You're very funny. You're very funny. Down, down, good. He's very hilarious. He thinks he's hilarious, which is great, right? We want him to have fun, so he laughs. But we can hold the criteria, and if you notice my demeanor with him, unless I'm very happy, right, I'm neutral. I can reward with some affection here. Up, down. That's hard to do. It's hard for him. Down. Good boy. He's good. Good job. Before I stand up, I remind him what he's supposed to do. Down. Good boy. And I can reward that. Good job. I'm gonna throw some food. When he looks at me, he'll have decided. And now he's still thinking about it. Good. Good boy. Down. So when they're staring at it, and you'll see this when they're on place too, They're not off place yet, but they haven't decided. You don't need to micromanage. You let them choose. And then what follows is what teaches them. You don't have to be there hovering or they never learn, okay? So you let them look. Or if they're at the end of the place bed and they're like, ooh, I really wanna, let them dance. Nothing happens until they either decide to leave or decide to stay. So on place, you'll see them decide to stay, usually by backing up and sitting down, or laying down, or looking at you and away from the distraction. Same here. Food here, he's staring at it and thinking, and he goes, and he looks at me, okay? You can reward that. Good boy. Good boy, that's excellent. That's excellent. So those are your 4 basic commands besides the recall. We'll go over the recall here in a sec. Whoa, there we go. That's good. Ando, here. Good boy, sit. Here. Here, sit. Recall him off of a dog. Good boy.
I think he thought I was here.
Free. Yeah, he did. He went to Tegan. Good boy, you're free. Go on. He's like, no, I like food. He's really like, when he understands it very clearly, and that was only on a level 4. If I needed to, I could have gone up higher. Now, if you need to recall him off of dogs, I would not recommend starting on a very high level. He understands the e-collar very well, but when he's in close proximity, any dog that's in close proximity with another dog could misinterpret and think that that dog just bit them. So you have to be very careful when you've got other animals involved in your recall. But Ando understands this very well. Free, you're good. Come on, you're in. He's like, I'm sitting. Come on, let's go. So we're gonna sort of simulate. He's very much in obedience mode and he hasn't had this kind of freedom ever. But we're gonna sort of simulate Ando got away. Free! He's like, okay. Which now look, the dog is paying attention. He was healing for a second. He's an Airedale and he's confident, so he's not very clingy at all, which is fine. There's somebody up here, so I'm just gonna let him walk. We're gonna practice some recalls out here. Ando's gonna go and take himself on a walk. And the thing is, Ando's been taking himself on a walk for a very long time and has only been doing obedience training for a very short amount of time. So it's very natural for him to kind of immediately go back into whatever it is he wants to do. Are you coughing? He's not sure what he wants to do. It's gonna be a little bit different. He's in a different mentality now. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? So I have it on a 4, which is kind of our training. 4, 5 is like where we train at. 6, if I need to go to 7 for a recall and I'm just watching cars and everything too, then I will. So my remote is in my pocket, right here. Got the finger kick, so you need to be very, very familiar with your equipment so you can quickly change levels if you need to, right? Ando, here. Good boy, let's go. Sit. Here. Here. Good boy, sit. Okay. So that was on a 5, that's nothing for him. Good boy! Yay! Good job! That was delicious. He's much more attentive too. Come on, Boo. Ando, here. Good boy. That's awesome. Good. Good job. Oh, that's delicious. Hard work pays better. Okay, so this is more difficult. So I'm prepared at the moment. This is a training session. I'm not setting him up to fail, and I'm making sure that I've got higher value stuff in my pockets than normal, and I'm feeding it much larger amounts too. Good job, buddy. And I'm not gonna let him go over there. He thinks about it. I'll we call him off of it. I'm not going to. Good boy. Baby, good boy. I haven't raised the level yet. Why do I don't need to. So that last one wasn't even with the stim at all. But you're going to be stimming every time. Now for this to be successful, clearly, if he manages to DoorDash, which we have systems in place for you to use so he can't, and he doesn't, and you build different habits with the door. If he does manage to, you need, there's some chickens. Ando, here. Here. Good boy. Here. Sit. You need to be able, good boy. You need to be able to talk to him if he does get away. We have wild chickens and stuff too out here. So he has to be wearing his e-collar. If he gets out and he doesn't have an e-collar, you're back to your old patterns. So if this dog is out of his crate, he's got to be wearing that e-collar. It's got to be turned on. That's a wild chicken. He's like, I like chicken. Chicken's delicious. Good job. Heel. Good job, bud. Heel.
He's like,